A player like Erling Haaland, with top achievements on the scoreboard and hat tricks as a weapon, in recent games on media display joined Manchester City, waving at Dortmund, became a big question that why Haaland joined Manchester City. This is what we are going to talk about today, and much more. Erling Haaland's transfer to Manchester City is now finalized. After agreeing to pay the rumored €60 million release clause to acquire the striker from Borussia Dortmund, the club announced on June 13th that the player had signed a 5-year deal. Since his father, Alf Inge, joined the same club 22 years prior, Haaland called the transfer, quote, "a happy day for me and my family." Haaland joins Manchester City for £51 million from Borussia Dortmund after the Blues outbid other clubs for the highly regarded Norwegian. Last month, City revealed a preliminary deal for Haaland. As of right now, they can declare that the transfer has been successfully accomplished. You are watching Ball 1. We bring amazing videos for you. Consider subscribing to get the latest videos. Haaland joined the Citizens to begin a new chapter in his career after an outstanding stint at Borussia Dortmund. With 10 goals in 6 Premier League outings, the Norway international has adapted flawlessly to City's lineup. Real Madrid was unsuccessful in their pursuit of Kylian Mbappe and Haaland. Karim Benzema, who has 4 goals in as many games to open the season for the Blancos, has maintained his outstanding form. The decision to withdraw from the Haaland race was revealed by Florentino Perez, the president of Real Madrid, back in June. He stated that, "We have the best 9 in the world, and we weren't going to bring Haaland to have him on the bench, right?" The deal was formalized on June 13th, with City announcing that Haaland would be joining the club on the 1st of July on a 5-year contract. He made his competitive debut on July 30th, playing the whole 90 minutes in a 3-1 defeat to Liverpool in the 2022 FA Community Shield. On August 7th, he scored 2 goals on his Premier League debut in a 2-0 away victory against West Ham United. On the 27th of August, Haaland scored his first Premier League hat-trick in a 4-2 victory against Crystal Palace, and scored his second, a perfect hat-trick, 4 days later with a treble in a 6-0 defeat of Nottingham Forest, making him the quickest individual in Premier League history to reach 2 hat-tricks, beating the previous record by 14 matches. On June 13th, City announced that Haaland will sign a 5-year contract and begin playing for the team on July 1st. On July 30th, he made his professional debut, playing the full 90 minutes in the 2022 FA Community Shield loss to Liverpool by a score of 3-1. He beat West Ham United 2-0 on the road on his Premier League debut on August 7th, thanks to 2 goals he scored. Haaland became the fastest person in Premier League history to attain 2 hat-tricks when he scored his first hat-trick against Crystal Palace on August 27th, and his second, a perfect hat-trick, 4 days later with a triple in a 6-0 victory against Nottingham Forest. He broke the previous record. For a player of Haaland's talent, quality, and goal-scoring efficiency, the amount City paid to sign him feels modest, as required by his contract release clause. As a result, Haaland and his representatives had complete negotiating power for personal agreements. As a result, the biggest teams in Europe engaged in a bidding war to entice Haaland by offering the highest sums of money and the greatest likelihood of winning championships, which finally led to Haaland joining City. Although other teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Manchester United were mentioned in connection with Haaland at various periods during the previous year, neither have the resources, squad depth, and European standing that Man City do. Here are some of the reasons behind Haaland's move to Man City. Contractor concerns. The reason Haaland moved to Manchester City is mostly financial, as was already revealed. Haaland will be paid significantly under the terms of the contract in addition to the signing bonus because of the low release clause. With a weekly salary of almost £385,000 or $500,000, Kevin De Bruyne is Man City's highest paid player. Haaland, whose contract is rumored to be worth roughly £500,000 or $610,000 per week, will, however, eclipse that of the Belgian star. Champions League success. Although the team's performance as a whole suffered, Haaland's Champions League goal-scoring record can't benefit much from his domestic league's performances. Haaland had 3 seasons with Dortmund, but never made it past the semi-finals. Manchester City should adjust that. As the English team tries to finally get the Champions League off their backs, Haaland will play a significant role in that equation. Although the semi-final and final exits in each of the last 2 seasons were disappointing for City supporters, for Haaland they were a significant improvement over his previous performances and an opportunity to make a lasting impression at a team aiming for its first Champions League trophy. Family concerns. A significant familial tie to the club also exists for Erling Haaland. Alf-Inge Haaland, who was born in Leeds and played for Leeds United from 1997 to 2000, was the father of Erling Haaland. Erling spent his first years in Manchester, where Alf-Inge lived until he relocated to Man City in 2000. The senior Haaland made 38 appearances and scored 3 goals in his 3 seasons with the team, usually as a right back or in midfield. He departed to play 3 more seasons in his home Norway before retiring, but it was obvious that he had a connection to Manchester. Chances to play for Pep Guardiola. Guardiola is without a doubt one of the most successful and well-liked managers in all of football, despite some criticism over his recent Champions League failures. Pep Guardiola, who has coached players like Lionel Messi, Robert Lewandowski, and Sergio Aguero, among others, was a major pull for Haaland, since he can learn from the Man City manager and succeed in a similar way. Erling stated on a website that, quote, "I have always watched City and have loved doing so in recent seasons. You can't help but admire their style of play. It's exciting and they create a lot of chances, which is perfect for a player like me. There are so many world-class players in this squad, and Pep is one of the greatest managers of all time, so I believe I am in the right place to fulfill my ambitions." Popularity concerns. The fact that England's Premier League is the most-watched league in the world should appeal to a 21-year-old aspiring star. Haaland would have a rare opportunity to get international exposure by participating for a side that regularly wins the Premier League, having claimed 5 of the previous 10 league crowns and placing second in 2 of those contests. They accumulated 601 touches in the opponent's penalty area and generated 165 non-blocked shots, a 27% rate. Erling Haaland is said to be one of the most promising players right now in the media. Get all the latest videos from Ball One when you subscribe. See you soon with another great video.